Alright, so you read the title. You know what this is. This is my favorite films of 2019. There are 30 films on this list, which, as you may know, one of the first videos from this channel was my top 20 movies of 2017. I didn't do 2018. I guess I can show... These are my top 10 of last year. I didn't see too many movies last year, not nearly as much as this year. So, you know, they're pretty normie picks, most of them. I did not see nearly as many more, I guess, independent movies this year, or last year, I mean. It was mostly blockbusters last year. But we're here for this year, which has been really great. This has been a really great year for movies. This list has been incredibly difficult for me to do. I have a Letterboxd, so link in the description for that, with all 30 films that I've seen this year, one of which is debatable. It's a comedy. Look, it's me from the future. I have a message to current you and past me. I made a mistake. Pretty much, I missed a very important movie, so I've replaced John Mulaney in the Sack Lunch Bunch, which I didn't even really consider to be a movie, so I've replaced that. I have nothing against John Mulaney in the Sack Lunch Bunch. I thought it was pretty good. I still recommend it, but it has been removed from the list and replaced with something else, so you won't see it, and also some of the numbers that I'm going to say are going to be a bit different, so I might put some numbers with asterisks. Example here, that's just a random number with an asterisk. So I might do something like that, I don't know. Yeah, there's only about one film that I think is really... I only think the one film is bad. It's The Last Place, obviously. But I think I got it. So, here we are. This is the top 30 films of 2019. So the dreaded Last Place is The Dead Don't Die. This is the only film that I really did not enjoy this year. It is a classic zom-com, which there are a couple in here, and it's rough. Okay, it feels amateur is the best word that I would use. I found it boring. I didn't see it in theaters, about half of these films I saw in theaters, the other half I didn't. But, yeah, I don't have much to say. I don't recommend it. Maybe you'll like it, but I didn't. Alright, so at number 29, we are already at the films that I enjoyed parts of, and that is Glass. So, Glass, I really liked until the ending. It was disappointing. I would say the ending is very disappointing. It was the first film that I saw this year. I saw it opening night. I think it's probably the last time that I've seen a movie opening night. Usually I go on like Saturdays or Sundays. But I was really excited for this. I like Glass and Unbreakable, or Split and Unbreakable, sorry. But yeah, as per usual, Shyamalan does not stick the landing on this one. So, number 28 was another disappointment. Over time, though, when I first saw it, I quite enjoyed it, but upon thinking about it, I'm not a fan anymore. So I was very excited for this movie. It's a Netflix movie, and I saw it when the day it came out. And I saw Nightcrawler about a couple weeks before the trailer came out, so I was really excited for it because I love Nightcrawler, and the director Dan Gilroy and star Jake Gyllenhaal returned for this, so I was all for it. But this movie's nonsense. Okay, it's rough. Number 27 is Captain Marvel, which is about the blandest movie I think I've ever seen. Now the next one is probably going to get me in some hot water because This movie is very far from being bad. I would say it's a good movie, but it too is it's disappointing. This is El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Now I've rewatched Breaking Bad before watching this, and this is just it's not as good as Breaking Bad, which makes it disappointing. Because the movie is about Jesse Pinkman after the events of Breaking Bad, which I very much recommend. It's great. But this ended exactly how I thought it would, which Breaking Bad never did. It was never predictable. But this was. So ultimately disappointing. This is very tough because I think I'm very mixed about this movie. This is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I have no idea how I missed this from my list, but here we are. Yeah, so it is at number 26 right now, which I don't think it really deserves because I like a lot of the stuff about this movie. Anything with Kylo Ren or Rey, I quite enjoy, but a lot of it is not great. This movie feels very rushed, and I feel like it's trying to fix the sins of The Last Jedi, which I mostly liked. Yeah, it's the last Star Wars movie. This is the main saga. I am pretty far from one of the people who is anti-sequel trilogy, but this movie's okay. Number 25 might come as a shock because I did a review for this and it was quite positive. But upon rewatch, I did not really enjoy myself. This is Spider-Man: Far From Home. Now a lot of the elements that I first talked about, I still love. Like, I still love Mysterio. I think any second he's on screen, the movie's great. But it's cringe. Let's go with cringe. Okay, it is. It's like this scene which I'm showing on the bridge. It's rough. I know I've said that a lot so far, and I won't be saying it much later because everything else, pretty much after this, a little bit after this, I quite enjoy. But it'll be a while before I rewatch this one. I have a strong feeling that my opinion will sway with time with this one. I think the suit's good, and I will still be there opening weekend for MCU Spider-Man 3. Number 24 is Zombieland Double Tap, which I believe is the only other Zombie-com on this list, and it's fine. I don't have much to say about this one. I like the first Zombieland, but this is just it's okay. Number 23, Brightburn. Now, Brightburn, I was also very excited for, as you'll see with a lot of these movies. It has a great premise. It has one James Gunn behind it, in Gunn We Trust. I don't know if that's a real thing, but it is now. And this movie, it's got a lot of wasted potential because this has a great concept, and I feel like this movie needs a big budget, which it doesn't have. I don't think I will. This is probably one of the few times I'm going to say this, but I think this movie needs more money behind it because right now it's pretty underwhelming. Number 22 is It Chapter 2. Now, I have a very strange relationship with this movie, and that is that I saw a trailer for this, and then I watched the first It, and then I got this, which is obviously the TV miniseries, and I watched part 1, and then the next day I watched this, It Chapter 2, and then I watched part 2 of this, and the newer movies are by far a lot better than that. There's no denying that. It's a fact. I don't know what to tell you. This next one is Yesterday. Now, I haven't seen that many people talking about it, at least after the trailer. A lot of people were talking about the trailer, and then they didn't see it. But I did, and I thought it was alright. But the next one is far from uninteresting. This is Rocket Man, which is Bohemian Rhapsody, but better in pretty much every way. Now, this film is told in a musical style. So, if you don't know, this movie is about English musician Elton John, and as I said, it's very similar to Bohemian Rhapsody in many ways. Both these two people were active around the same time, and they're both gay, and they both are kind of Oscar baity, especially Bohemian Rhapsody, because it came out later in the year. Dexter Fletcher was involved with both. He was fully the director of this, and I think he took over on Bohemian Rhapsody or something. I don't know. It's a strange movie, and I don't think it's great at all. But this one's okay. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's pretty good. Get your kids to watch it. It's not too scary, but it's fun. So overall, I do recommend this. I have recommended pretty much everything since yesterday. Number 17 is Booksmart, which I saw recently. There's a big string of these movies that I only saw in the past month or so. But this movie, it has a lot of comparison made to Superbad, which is very warranted. There's a lot of pretty glaring similarities. I think that Superbad is funnier, but I think that this has a better emotional molten core, I guess. It has great leads. It is still pretty funny, and it has a lot of great side characters. A lot of people find them to be quite annoying, but I didn't. I found them all to be very entertaining and memorable. I think this will be a movie that is quoted until the end of time. Number 16, Midsommar. Now, this is, I'd say a spiritual sequel to Hereditary. This is pretty much automatically compared with it, because this is Ari Aster's second film, I believe. I would be surprised if I was wrong there. But I loved Hereditary, and I really like this. I prefer Hereditary a little bit, but this is still really good. It's pretty long for a horror movie, but I was not bothered by it. A lot of it is in about one location, a good percentage of the movie. It's like this village. I don't know. Watch the trailer. It's pretty spooky. It unnerved me, but I do not think that you will be awake at night, scared of Swedes. Number 15 is 15. 15. Number 15 is The Farewell. The Farewell is a part English but mostly Chinese movie, and I have been telling you the synopsis of any of these movies because I think if you know what the movie is, then you know what it is. But if you don't, I think going in blind is always good for any movie. So if you don't know anything about this one, it's on Amazon Prime. I don't know if Canadian and other countries have different Amazon Primes like Netflix has, but at least where I am, it's on Amazon Prime. So are quite a few of these. Midsommar and Booksmart were. So these, these three films, the ones I just said, they are all on Amazon Prime, and I saw them in the span of a couple days, a couple weeks ago. Number 14, Shazam. Now, I also did a review of this movie. I saw it in IMAX, the only film that I've seen in IMAX so far. It's been a while since I saw that review. I don't know if my opinion has changed actually, but right now I think it is quite good. I find it's a good time. Shazam, he looks great. Villain is serviceable, but the chemistry between the main two kids, it's really good. I quite enjoy it. We have Us. directed by one Jordan Peele, who also directed Get Out somewhere in there. I don't know. This movie, like a lot of the other movies, has a comparison to another previous film, that is Get Out. It is, and always will be, compared to Get Out. I prefer Get Out a little bit more, but this is still quite good. When I first saw this, I preferred it to Get Out, but now I don't. Number 12 is Ad Astra. Now, a lot of people are very conflicted about this movie, but I quite enjoyed it. I thought that it might be boring, but it was not. This film, I really wanted to see in theaters. There was posters at my movie theater and everything, but I never played there, so I had to watch it later. I rented it, and I quite enjoyed. I think the movie looks great. Brad Pitt does a really good job. He will appear later in this list, but until then, that is Ad Astra. I would highly recommend it. The next is The Art of SelfDefense. Now, I saw this in theaters in Vancouver. I was visiting there, and I saw this, and so I hadn't heard about this movie until about a day before I saw it, because I saw trailers for it, and I heard a lot of praise for it from the people who did see it, so I decided to go watch it, and I had the option to see The Farewell, but I saw this instead, and then I obviously saw The Farewell later. But this is, it's very good. This, along with another big entry later, is this movie's a satire. A lot of the people who this movie is directed towards probably won't like it, but I don't care, because it's mainly a black comedy. It's very funny, I'd say. And the main character, played by Jesse Eisenberg, I'm just talking about Jesse Eisenberg. He does a good job. A lot better than in Zombieland Double Tap, where he does okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But it's good. Recommend it. Number 10. Now, I saw this just last night. This is what rounded me up to 30 before I had to move some things. This is 1917. Now, this is supposed to look like one take, and it's a war movie. Which, as you can imagine, are two pretty difficult things to do on your own, but when you put them together, it's even harder. Anywho, I obviously recommend it. It's in my top 10 of a year that's already very good. So go watch it. Uncut Gems. This is Adam Sandler wanting his redemption, and I think he got it. This movie's not funny, so if you're hoping for a different type of Adam Sandler movie, I don't know what to tell you, but this is directed by the Safdie brothers, who are most known for Good Time, which came out in 2017. This, like a lot of the other movies, is being compared to the director's previous movie, which I like Good Time more, but this is still really good. A lot of people have been saying that it's quite stressful, which I think is fair to say, but it's really good. So go see it. It's on Netflix. It has been since the 31st of January, which is when I saw it. So go watch it. Number 8 is John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. One of the few issues I have with this movie is that title. Just cut out the Parabellum. Yeah. Now, I feel like with each John Wick movie, the action gets a bit better and the story gets a bit worse. That's my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. Sorry, my knuckles. Ooh. Number 7 is Joker. Now, Joker has moved around a lot on this list. At one point, it was my favorite film of the year. Now the top 4, I have actually seen after Joker, but the next 2 after this I have moved up later. But Joker is still it's still good. I like Ralph the Movie Maker. I love you, but I gotta say this movie is not bad. It's pretty far from bad. It's not. I don't think it's as shallow as he does. It's not the greatest movie ever made, but it is still it's quite derivative. But I mean, a lot of movies are, so I can't really hold it against it, because I think it would be kind of hypocritical of me to do that, because a lot of movies just borrow from other movies, even some of the same movies that this one borrows from. So yeah, number 6 is Avengers Endgame. Now this was also at one point my favorite movie of the year. It's pretty far from the best movie of the year. I think some movies before this, quite a few, really. Like I think 1917 is better. I think The Art of Self-Defense is better. A lot of these movies I definitely think are a lot better. But this movie almost made me cry. So it automatically goes up pretty good. I don't have too much to say about this movie. I think it's good. I have a couple issues with it, but most of them are pretty unavoidable issues, so I can't really dock that many points from it. But this movie's a lot of fun, and I will definitely see it again. Number 5 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now this is Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. I have a box set up there, which is Quentin Tarantino's movies. Up until Django, I don't have The Hateful Eight or this. I don't know what to tell you. But this, like a lot of his other movies, it's very entertaining. Occasionally it's very tense. But this movie's a lot more mellow than most of his other movies. I think it's most comparable to, I guess, Jackie Brown, maybe. But this I definitely prefer. I think this is more entertaining than Jackie Brown. It's kind of comparable to Pulp Fiction, in that it has very likable characters. There is not much of a plot here, but it's still really good. So I definitely recommend. Oh God, I took something else off. Great, my list is disintegrating in my hands. Number 4 is Marriage Story. Marriage Story is another Netflix movie. They've been doing great this year. And this is one of... And this has Adam Driver, who has had a tipsy-turvy year. He's had some lows, and some mediums, and a high. This is definitely the high. He did great in this movie. So did Scarlett Johansson, who has had a pretty great year. She'll appear later in this list. I know we're only at number 4, but she will appear again, and she just appeared in Avengers Endgame. So that was the highest-grossing film of till now, and this was nominated for many Oscars, and so is the other one that comes later, Knives Out. Now this too was was my favorite movie of the year, but then the next 2 I saw after this, and I preferred them. But this is still really good. Knives Out. It's a lot of fun. It's not the greatest movie ever made. Yeah, it's probably my favorite movie that Rian Johnson has directed. But I guess Looper's pretty close. I won't tell you much. It's a mystery. It's good. Some people don't like it, and I disagree. Now, critically, this is Scarlett Johansson's other big movie. This is Jojo Rabbit. Now, she's not the star of this movie. I was just talking about her earlier. She has had a great year. She's definitely one of the supporting characters here. The main character is actually a little boy, and he does a great job. This movie, too, almost made me cry. a couple times. Now this movie, it's about Nazis. It's very not pro-Nazis in any way. I might make another video about this someday, more in depth, because I think there's a lot to say here, and it's very good. We are at the number 1 spot. Now, there's probably 2 movies that you're thinking I'm going to put here. There's this one and this one of which I've seen, and one of which I have not. But the one I have seen is this one, Parasite. I don't know if this would be in my top 3. I've heard many good things about people I trust, so I have a feeling that I would quite enjoy it. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I really want to though. But Parasite I have seen, and it's really good, and it truly deserved that Best Picture win. I won't tell you anything about this. I don't know what to tell you, but go watch it. You'll have to sit through some dubs or subs. I watched it with subtitles, which is what I would recommend doing. Yeah, I know this is kind of an anticlimactic end, and I won't tell you anything about this, but trust me, you will thank me later. Anyway, I have to cobble this together. How long is this? Good God, I have 46 minutes of audio, and probably something close in video as well. So, good luck me. This is probably going to be about 20 minutes long, but I don't know.